What is going on? Jordan Sherwood, Wood on 1063, fatjacksports.com for our fight picks. As we look back at UFC Vegas 5, start to talk about UFC Vegas 6, Dana White Contender Series, the fights just keep coming. Very good night if you played our picks at fatjacksports.com, a 3-0 night. You know, we haven't had an undefeated night in quite some time, but it was good to get one. Before we get to those picks, main event, Derek Brunson shocks a lot of people based on the odds makers and based on what people had predicted with his third round finish of Edmen Shabazyan. Look, Derek Brunson is going to always be, as long as he fights, one of those upper echelon middleweight fighters. Lately, he's slowed down his pace. He has relied back on his defensive wrestling and still, showcasing some very good power and obviously some great ground and pound, which he, utilized to stop Edmen Shabazyan in that third round. When I was analyzing this fight, and it's good and easy to pat myself on the back now after, playing the result, but I was looking at the Darren Stewart fight, the debut for Edmen Shabazyan, taking into account that it was his UFC debut, but a smaller cage, heavy hitter, somewhat a guy in Darren Stewart that's decent on the ground, and Shabazyan tired. He tired in that second and that third round, and he did fight at a pretty grueling pace in that fight. I think he went for 21 takedowns and landed 8 of them against Darren Stewart, but he tired, and it was a smaller cage, and coupling that with the Derek Brunson that we've seen over the last 3 fights, I thought the over was the play. I didn't think that Derek Brunson was going to win the fight. I thought Edmen Shabazyan was going to win the fight at some point late in the second or the third round. But where do we go from here? I mean, Brunson certainly deserves another, top tier middleweight, and people were throwing out Kelvin Gastelum for Edmen Shabazyan. Certainly, maybe the right fight for him. Shabazian's only 22 years of age. Kelvin Gastelum has lost his last 3. But I think you need to take a step back on the hype train for Edmen Shabazyan. And sometimes you get success and sometimes you don't. I mean, look, Sean O'Malley, for as good as he is and as the coat, tails that he's riding right now, it could come to an immediate halt against Marlon Vera in a couple of weeks. So, a fight we'll have some thoughts on a little bit later on. Now to our fight picks. We had Jennifer Maia. That was a big win for us. We liked the Muay Thai style matchup she would have with Joanne Calderwood. Definitely knew she had an advantage on the ground as a much better grappler, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. And look, Jennifer Maia steals the thunder of Calderwood and now is fighting Valentina Shevchenko at some point, the women's flyweight championship. So kudos to her. We also took Bobby Green, and that was an underdog winner as well against Lando Venata. Looked at the last fight, looked at how it was pretty even despite the illegal knee that Lando Venata landed. He wasn't going to finish Bobby Green. That's where he was going to have a majority of success. Bobby Green looked pretty good his last time at the Apex in a victory over Clay Guida. So we liked him, and that was an upset winner. And then we also had Vicente Luque. How do you get the submission? Really was looking at that prop submission win, maybe grab a darts choke, and he almost was close to it, but finishes him via TKO. And what can you say about Luque? 19 wins, 17 finishes. The dude is a finishing machine, always entertaining. Love seeing him fight, and certainly look forward to the next one as well. So that's really all the big takeaways from the fight card. Not to toot our horn on the winners, but we definitely own up to the losers, But it was too bad to see all those fights drop out. I mean, we did have Jared Mearshart going to have a victory over Ed Herman. That fight was scrapped. We thought Kevin Howan would get a submission. There was a value in prop money there over Trevin Giles, and hopefully he gets checked out and gets checked out right, because that's a pretty scary incident for him to be fainting moments before he's supposed to fight. So that's really the recap of it. It was a short fight. It was a card. It was a quick night. Always enjoy those. And Dana White Contender Series tomorrow. Don't have any immediate thoughts, but if you want to ask me a couple questions about it, I'm open. Just slide in my DM, Wood on 1063. But we'll have our fight picks for UFC Vegas 6. We've already got some, at least 2 plays that we're jumping on right away. And we're going to have Elmo help us out, too, a little bit with our picks. Why not? It's actually frustrating my son. He comes into the bedroom every time. He's like, what's Elmo doing up there? I'm like, I don't know. He just climbed up there. He's a Bears fan. What are you going to do? All right, so Wood on 1063, fatjacksports.com. We're going to continue the momentum this week. Enjoy the fights.